This next part on page 47 is some interesting commentary between a second-hander, which is Peter Keating, which is one of the main characters, and this girl he's trying to have a relationship with. And it's pretty interesting from a relationship standpoint, and you may have been in such a relationship or you may know someone who's like this. So I'll just read some of the dialogue between them. So this is Peter Keating, starting at the first, and then Katie. They go back and forth. So starting with Keating, he says, "Did you get my wire?" "Oh, yes, thanks. Don't you want to know how I'm getting along in the city?" "Sure, how are you getting along in the city?" "Look here, you're not terribly interested." "Oh, but I am. I want to know everything about you." "Why don't you ask?" "You'll tell me when you want to. It doesn't matter much to you, does it?" "What?" "What I've been doing." "Oh, yes, it does, Peter." "No, not too much." "That's sweet of you. But you see, it's not what you do that matters, really. It's only you." "Me what?" "Just you here, or you in the city, or you somewhere in the world. I don't know, just that." "You know, you're a fool, Katie. Your technique is something awful." "My what?" "Your technique. You can't tell a man so shamelessly like that you're practically crazy about him." "But I am." "But you can't say so. Men won't care for you." "But I don't want men to care for me." "You want me to, don't you?" "But you do, don't you?" "I do," he said, his arms tightening around her. "Damnably, I'm a bigger fool than you are." "Well, then it's perfectly all right, isn't it?" That's the end of it. So I just thought, isn't that amazingly indicative of a relationship that's based on nothing? And you can tell in that Peter wants to hear something about him. He wants some praise and admiration. As I said in the other audio clip, the second-hander is someone who needs the praise of others to have any kind of motivation to do anything in the world, and they constantly need it as fuel. And so he's looking for that from Katie, but Katie has no admiration for him, but yet she likes him, yet she wants a relationship with him, but for no reason. And it speaks to the idea of admiration without values or reasons. And I think often in relationships, people kind of want to know, well, what is it that you value about me? What do you like about me? And can you imagine someone having nothing to say? They just like, oh, I don't know, I just like you for who you are, but then won't give you any details. And it becomes very frustrating because you want to be praised for what you do and what you are. But for someone who's a second-hander, they just want empty praise. But Katie gives nothing because nothing matters to her. So the other main character is Howard Rourke, who's the hero in the book, who's supposed to be the ideal man. And he obviously is not a second-hander then. He's a prime mover. And he would not have anything to do with Katie because Katie is essentially a nihilist. It values nothing. It doesn't exist in some sense. And Peter Keating is also having difficulties with her because while he doesn't care for being admired for reasons, Katie won't admire. That's the odd thing about it. And so while Peter is looking for it, even if it's fake and a distortion or a lie, Katie gives nothing. And giving nothing and yet still saying that you like someone, it's unbearable. It's an impossible relationship and connection. But it's dramatized, I think, very well here in the novel. In this short paragraph from the same scene on page 49 just puts the icing on the cake for this idea. So this is Peter Keating and Katie again. So he held her close anxiously, afraid that her weightless little body would vanish. He did not know why her presence made him confess things unconfessed in his own mind. He did not know why the victory he came here to share had faded, but it did not matter. He had a peculiar sense of freedom. Her presence always lifted from him a pressure he could not define. He was alone. He was himself. All that mattered to him now was the feeling of her coarse cotton blouse against his wrist. So that puts the icing on the cake of the idea of non-judgmentalism as protecting Keating from his emptiness.